Time, here are his words. Time is not toxic. Time has no effect on human tissue under any conditions. It is a belief in the effects of time by those who subscribe to such a belief that acts as a poison.
Gosh, I've always believed like staying like completely like young forever, and then my tooth got infected. Okay, but I'm back on out of my believing in the world's belief that time can make you old and die. Okay, so, but what I love to help people. This is me. I want to get out there and stand on top of the mountain, and we have a ton of them here in Phoenix, Arizona, and with my bullhorn and teach this stuff to them and wake them up.
So do your work and pass it on.
Okay, I'll do my work. Yeah. Not go up on those mountains. Have you ever hiked in Phoenix, just out of curiosity, on this really, really rough mountain?
Not in Phoenix, no. I have it in other parts of Arizona, but it's been a while.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So
Cecilia,
I'll just do my work. My work's here. What?
I just sent you an email with the link to that chart for the physiological effects.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. All right. So, gang, I'm sure I'll be back.
Okay, you have a blessed one.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, take care. Blessings. Bye-bye. All right, Miss Jeannie.
Yeah, it's all quiet out here on the home front. We have about 4 minutes plus the outro. We just had a hand go up, and I believe that it is Miss Ann. And I will go ahead and turn on area code 480. You are on the air. Who do we have?
Hey, Jeannie. This is Cecilia. Hi, Michael. Hi.
Hi, Cecilia. And welcome, Michael.
Hi, Michael. Are you there?
I am here, young lady. How are you doing today?
It's so hard to get on this call and not feel like I'm bothering somebody or I'm totally
Cecilia.
Things.
Cecilia, the reason we're here is to support you in doing what you're doing. And I acknowledge your courage for bringing it forward and the gift it is to everybody in the community for everything that you're opening up. So please feel totally comfortable and let go of this thing. And it's probably a power person message you were given. You're a bother. Get out of the way. So you're here as part of our work and our process, and we are delighted to have you here. So I'd suggest a mind shifter. Everyone delights in supporting my healing process because we are.
Thank you.
It's what we're here for.
Thank you so much. I don't know where I should start with the more analytical thing that I need your help with, or the heart, the pain there's pain attached to this one. The one is a letter I'm writing to my biological dentist, integrative medicine dentist, who I'll hear from at noon with the condition of my bones in my mouth. And I did write this writing to her about you to please be part of working with me with you. Not that you'll be involved in it, just that she'll look at the website. But I worded it in a way that I had to be careful that I knew that what I was saying was not coming from you or your work. It was coming from my intuition. So can I read this first?
Please,
I wanted
for it,
you
yeah.
so I did send it to you, but I don't hear. I figured I needed to do it on the call anyway. Okay.
Go for it.
Her name's Dr. Hamden. I said, first of all, I asked you and Jeannie to edit this. Anyway, so I said, hi, Dr. Hamden. I believe my teeth and gum tissue issues were due to dysregulation of my body chemistry due to trauma. I'm currently doing a lot of work to heal from the effects of severe childhood trauma. It's so small print. To learn how I'm healing my trauma and applying it to help my teeth. Oh, that's why I'm doing this work with you. Okay, so to heal my teeth, bone, and gums, to heal, please, okay, hold on. So I'm currently doing a lot of work to heal from the effects of severe childhood trauma. To learn how I'm healing my trauma and applying it to help my teeth, bone, and gums to heal, please go to whyagain.org. I intuitively believe through doing Dr. Michael Ryce's work that I can and am regenerating my teeth, gums, and bone by removing disintegrative energy from all the cells in my body. So I am respecting and listening and sharing with you what my intuitive guidance is telling me. I'm telling you all of this because my entire nervous system in my body and all the cells in my body are just beginning to be rewired, aka neuroplasticity, with this work. Because of my trauma healing work, I intuitively believe that my muscle tissues can regenerate, my bones can heal in my mouth, including my teeth, and the lining in my gut is regenerating. The stress of going through traumatic events, too many to mention, caused my entire body's nervous system to go into chaos and got stuck in a hypervigilant mode where I've been in fear of everything, which caused my entire nervous system to go into dysregulation. My neuroplastic healing, oh my God, I don't know how to operate this new computer. Hang on. My neuroplastic healing. All right, hang on. My neuroplastic healing with this work has just begun, reteaching my entire system, the neurochemistry, the neurophysiology, the endocrine system that is in charge of regenerating bone growth, and my alternating freeze response of trauma, of shutting down, to come back to its even ebb and flow and reset it and consequently restore my health. The following link deals with, oh no, I didn't want to add that. I put, I would like you to consider this work I am doing with Dr. Michael Ryce is part of restoring the health of my teeth, gums, and bones. So what's your take on that? She's calling at noon my time, and I want to make sure I say something that does not put you in any kind of misrepresentation.
Right. So you said you sent me a copy of that?
Yes, I did.
Is that true? An email?
Last night, and I think I sent it this morning again. No, I added okay.
Yeah, I haven't looked at my email yet. But
I sent a second one because I don't want to add the part about the dentist who treat people with endocrine disorders because they don't know it's from stress probably. But that endocrine disorders cause all the problems that I have, okay, in my mouth. And I wanted to send it to her. But it also talks about treating with pharmaceuticals, and I'm not into that. I might send it anyway. You might want to look at it. Okay, so anyway, because hypothyroidism and hypothyroidism are the two things that endocrine systems disturb the condition of the mouth with. And I found this article I thought was amazing. I found it. So I think I might add that to it.
Okay. Yeah, if you'd send that article along, I'll take a look at it. I don't know that I'll be able to get that done by 1 or by noon your time talking to her.
Yeah,
my only input from you reading it. Yeah, my only input from you reading it is that I see that you've been doing a lot of research and are understanding on another level, and it sounds like it's going to need a little more clarity. There's a little bit of confusion in it maybe, but I think you're right on point, right on track, and I think enlisting your dentist to at least understand and to be able to support you, even if it's just in the way she speaks to you about it, will be powerful support.
Yes.
So you're right on track.
Thank you. Okay.
Yep.
But meaning she speaks about it in the language of this work. Our work.
Yes, speaking in terms of supporting you in opening and looking at and processing through things that need to be processed, just for her to have that comprehension, which a lot of medical people don't have that link or that key. That can make the difference of, you're sitting in the dentist chair and fingers are in your mouth, and all of a sudden up comes this kind of freeze response for her to understand that and go, okay, so I'll back off for a minute and let's just breathe and go ahead and do your exercises to open that flow of energy again. And I'm with you and I support you. Just to have that as opposed to, what are you doing? Are you some kind of crazy woman? Can be the difference of night and day in your healing process. So I think you're wise to be asking for that support.
Well,
and I think everyone, to me, I think that there are two different arenas. There's treatment and there's healing. And they are clearly, for the most part, in this culture, two different things. And I think that any medical professional who doesn't understand healing needs to be introduced to it and needs support to move beyond just treatment and add healing to the process. So I think you're right on track. And it's reasonable for you as the client in this circumstance to ask for the kind of support you need.
Well, then, as of yet, don't read this to her until I get more clarity so she can understand what I'm saying better, in a better way.
You might go for a little more clarity, yes. Yeah.
So then I'll wait
for
you to go over it? Yes?
I'll go over it and I'll give you some feedback for sure. Yeah.
But,
it's slightly disjointed at this point.
Okay. I'll just hear her results of the test today and say, okay, let me think about it. And then I will take my time and heal.
Cool.
and work through this letter. And thank you for doing that helpfully for me.
And I'll absolutely get back to you with it.
I'm being gentle with myself. You said on last week somehow that I'm not getting to, the freeze responses. There were so many that I just think that's what life was. So I'm just like, I'm not writing, and so that I want to write. Actually, I love to write, but but I felt so incredible, like blocked you said be gentle with myself, but I got this part of me that's like, what the heck is freeze response? I'm going to go on find a person that can explain it to me, and on YouTube over the weekend. And I found this lady. I don't know if I should name her name or not. I don't know if that's against policy or. But anyway, she studied with Paul Levine, somatic guy or whatever his name is, and she's got her own approach to freeze, fight, flight, And so,
right.
If you want her name, I'll email it to you or whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, I put freeze response, healing freeze response or something, because I wanted to jar my mind to something, be triggered to something that might come up that I can write about. So
right.
The first thing she said is, when you're in a family and you're a child and you can't even sing, I thought, oh my God, that's the first thing she said. Oh my God, that's my
tuned in, eh?
And she said, you're because you can't sing and you can't and your parents said shut up and that's stupid. Singing is stupid. I don't know if my parents sure as heck acted like it was the stupidest thing in the world. Okay, so I thought I got to listen to her. That's basically all I really got out of that is, okay, but she does say that there's no connection in the family. Without connection for someone to hear our feelings, they're frozen up inside of us. The traumas that we're going through. Of course, my mother used to, oh, boo-hoo, 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 what an ugly face. And I literally just can't even, ever open up again. And so it's like, I still couldn't write after that video, and I can't find it again. So I did find another one, and I'm watching her. And you did say you want her name, and I'll email you that and her link and
sure.
stuff.
Yeah, I'd love to see her perspective. Sure.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I can't find the one that said, but I remember it. She said.
Is it in YouTube? Did you watch it in YouTube?
Yes, I did, but it wasn't called.
Okay, well, just go to your history in YouTube, and it'll be listed there.
So in my iPad, I'll have to call Apple because it does not give you your history like my lap book, and I did it on my iPad, and I've been looking for hours for it. Anyway, but I'm sure I'll run into it
shouldn't be, as I understand it, Cecilia. It's not iPad that's going to keep a record of that. It's in your YouTube account. When you go to your YouTube page, there should be a button that tells you history. Pardon me?
Okay. I didn't think I had a YouTube account. I'm always on it.
Well, if you're on YouTube, there should be a history that will tell you all the videos that you've watched. So.
Oh my God, it's going to be like the Smithsonian Institute or something. There's so many.
Well, it's great. YouTube University is a very, very powerful place for study and information. Of course, there's a lot of garbage there too, but there's some powerful stuff.
So anyway, before the show, I was thinking about having no connection ever, but I also at the same time was thinking, and that this my nervous system couldn't digest food. My nervous system is in charge of everything, and as you get older, and this is what I heard too. This is on another video I'll send you of this person. She said, when you don't connect your nervous system, and when you're in freeze flight or mode, whatever you cannot digest food. You can't do
right.
Your nervous system.
The innervation of the body, there's no innervation. When you're in that sympathetic state, dominant state, there's no, the body says, I don't need to digest. I don't need to repair. I need to survive. And so all resources go to survival. That's why that simple exercise I gave you is a way to start to rebalance and get back to where you move from sympathetic dominance, freeze, and actually there's a separate state. The continuum is sympathetic to parasympathetic, but then there's a freeze state that they're discovering is a third nervous condition. And so when you're in freeze or you're in sympathetic, there's so many things that just aren't getting nerve supply. And just that simple exercise I gave you, there are many others, but that can be a simple way to start to open and to get that nerve supply. And when you do that, make sure you breathe big. Make sure that your chest, your belly, you're right down into your hips, everything expands, and that will tend to stretch that vagus nerve so that it opens and gets innervation into those places that have been previously blocked. There's a physiological component.
Did that. I was going to eat before the show, and I heard that, and I said, nothing's going to get digested. Never, ever have the millions of dollars I spent on being 100% raw food organic person ever got digested or into my system. So we're going to just do this nerve thing that Michael Ryce said, the vagus nerves exercise, and we're going to breathe. So I have my little heart that's on a piece of paper with your connected breath exercise, and I was talking to myself, trying to connect with this part of me that's never been connected with. And I, I started writing. It wasn't a worksheet, but the part of me that never has gotten listened to said, just stop and listen to me. I need you to connect with, the core of me and be present love, or I'm just scribbling.
Yes.
Anyway, and I put I am present. I choose now to be present for you and your pain and your tears. Somehow this same lady that I've been watching learn about stuff, she said, you can also get burnout. And then I put on here, and you're being hospitalized so many times in your 20s for burnout on the psych ward when me or anybody else were not present with you, okay? And so please be with me. And then this part of me that's this part of me that needs to be heard says, please be with me now. that the freeze, flight, fight response comes up for me now. And then I said to her, I promise you'll be safe with it coming up now. I have a connection to a safe community. You're going to be safe, and I know you'll learn as I ask for help on the show every day that you will see that you'll get this help from me. And the other thing that I know I'm reading sort of not joining words and stuff. Anyway, but you get the drift, I hope. And then the other thing she said on this video, this touches me because it just touches me. Because I relate to animals who are in this world, that they're not specifically mean dogs, because there isn't a system that gives them the greatest care in the world, in this world that I know of. And this lady on this video that I'll send this one, I'll send you this one. She says when animals are traumatized in the wild, they die.
Yep.
They don't deal with trauma. They're not like humans. We have some more intricate system where I guess we can live for so many years with it, you know. And when she said that, it's just like, oh my God, I've really got to work on my trauma now, because my traumatizing gets vomited on them. And so it's just an impetus for me to really, because if everybody doesn't know how much I truly love animals and want to give them the best light, I got to give me it first.
Absolutely. And here's another thing. Remember that when you look at and you speak about how dearly you care for animals, and yet when the stress is up and the chips are down, you've pushed that trauma out on them. That might be a space to begin to open some compassion, not only for yourself, but for the people that did that to you. Because they had no tools. They had no, I mean, and you know, if you go back just the same way as you speak about the animals, you cherish them so deeply. Your mother, your father cherished you so deeply, but they were so lost in their own trauma, and when it was in their faces, they couldn't do anything except push it out on you. It wasn't, when that happens, it isn't a matter of volition or choice. It's just, that's what's there, and that's what moves. And until you've got tools, which, you know, you've at least got some tools now. Your parents had none. The world at that time. Hard for me. I'm sorry? The world at that time had no tools. Right. Michael, I tell you, it's a blessing to hear all of this, because I really thought I was the most hated person on the planet by my parents and family. And until I started hearing you, No hate. No. Remember that
when I think about this,
Let's put this in another more understandable context. People talk about, well, you know, if you didn't experience darkness, you'd never know what the light was.
Right.
That's a fraud. We don't have to have darkness to experience light. You know, we could be looking up in a full sunlit sky, and there's a star that's 100 billion light years away, and its light is coming in. Now, we may not see that single star, but we still get to experience the light that comes from it as part of the light that we're experiencing. And nobody has ever created a flash dark.
Oh, what?
Have you ever seen a flash dark? A flash dark?
No, what is it?
Have you ever seen one? A little device that you push a button on it and it turns out it just disappears all light?
It disappears all light?
No such thing exists, right? No such thing exists, right? There's no such thing as a flash dark, because darkness is an absence. Okay. It has no positive existence. It has no existence. It's just an absence of the light. And when you bring the light in, the darkness is dispelled because it is an absence. It's the same thing with hate. Hate is just an absence. There's no positive presence of hate. It's just an absence, and the things that puke out of the energy fields of those who are lost in what we call hate It's just the energetic patterns that are there that they have no idea how to resolve. And in the same way, we do have a thing called a flashlight. No matter how deep the darkness is, you light one candle, and the darkness begins to disperse. In the same way, when we remember to loose our own trauma and bring forward the light, the darkness begins to be dispelled for everyone.
Yes. Yeah, I figured that my siblings and everybody didn't. This is just like an over the weekend. I figured that my siblings and my parents couldn't connect to me because they had all that stuff in them, and they were trying to survive with their own trauma, and they couldn't connect to themselves, so they couldn't connect to anybody else.
And that's virtually what's happening with virtually everyone on the planet.
Yeah, it's dispelling my, I don't know then if I can call it trauma that I felt that I went through, if I look at it that way.
Good catch.
Huh?
Good catch.
Because I'm seeing it with eyes of actuality instead of the reality that the reality show. I was actually thinking, how could I help? I could have an actuality show like the Kardashians have reality shows,
There you go.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Hey, we could say we knew you that when. That'd be cool.
No, I'm just trying to think of ways to put it out there.
Here's what you just did. You just shifted into seeing all of your history through Rachma.
Yeah.
Remember Yeshua said when they said, what's most important to human life? If you're going to be a human, what do you have to do? He didn't say love your neighbor, love God as yourself. He said have Rachma. You just opened Rachma. And it changes everything.
Yeah.
The non-being mind can't comprehend that. You can't explain that to the non-being mind. It comes by the experience, and you just had one.
Yes, I did. I did verbalize it too over a radio show. So
you got a permanent record of it. How cool is that?
I saw the movie Mr. Rogers, whatever it was called, Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, and totally felt like I want to contribute something, and he did it in his way, and that's what gave me the idea of we'll have an actuality show. And this work, instead of frivolous stuff like plastic surgery and clothes and things like that, or whatever. His wasn't frivolous, but reality shows to me are that way. So, and just have issues come up and go through them, and it's like, what's the difference between a radio show saying all this stuff and an actual some PBS program or something like Mr. Rogers said. Anyway, I'm just putting that on the back burner, okay? Because I want to be able to get back out and sing, and doing this work has been it's been different than I did when I was out there without it. So I don't know. I'm just rambling now. So I appreciate you guys being there. I thank you for letting me know that you appreciate me sharing as many times as I need to, and reassures as part of me that I'm not repeating the belief that of what I did growing up, that it's not traumatic to do this, okay? It's not traumatic. And people are, I'm not repeating this belief that I'm not wanted and all that. So anyway.
Here's what happens.
Okay.
And you've heard me talk about this before. When I shift into Rachma, when love is conscious, active, and present, I can simply collapse the perceptual constructs of my life based in trauma. I don't have to live through them, look through them all, sort through all the crap.
Yeah.
There are parts of it that I may do specific pieces of work on and go through some of the crap, but ultimately when I get to that place where full-blown Rockma is open, I get to process the actuality of the energy as it is, rather than having to filter it through the perceptual constructs of my generations. And that just changes everything.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's a skill you want to develop, and you just got a good taste of it right there. That's just right on track. And it is so instructive.
Yeah. Which
it
part?
Is so
which
instructive
part
for everybody.
What was the instructive part? Can you tell me so I can condense
For
this
me,
down
the instructive part for everybody was just to hear you shift from all the drama and trauma, all the garbage, into, oh, it doesn't have to be that.
Oh, yeah, that I interpret it and with the mind and love.
And that's your learning, and that's your process. And we're here to share that kind of process with people who don't even have, haven't even started, who don't even have a clue what we're talking about. And so that's exactly why we're doing this show, and exactly why when we complete and you go, wow, I just got a big piece of work done, we say thank you. Because each piece of work that you do and demonstrate is instructive to everybody who's listening. And that's what it takes. So you know, as often as you want to call in with whatever's going on for you in the state of willingness to do your work, please be here. That's what we're here for.
Okay. So I feel complete in this moment.
Sweet.
And I feel clear in this moment. So if there's anybody else that would like to share, is there a hand up or anything?
Well,
I just want to make
there are no hands up, but even if there were, you've got the floor right now.
I'll tell you that
when you're on the floor, it's yours.
I tell you that's another thing that had gone through my mind my whole life is I talk too much. I mean, literally, I want to talk about everything. And so I was told somewhere along the line, and I told myself, you talk too much. People don't want to hear what you have to say. But you gave me a mind shifter for that. So, and I'm always conscientious that I want to leave space for other people. But it seems that when I try that, nobody shares. It's like, so I don't know. So anyway, I just was checking.
Well, Cecilia, you're probably not going to go out to the local bar and get a whole lot of appreciation for this kind of conversation. so this is a different space with a different purpose than what most of the world is about. You know, if you go back to the scriptures, they talked about, you know, the world has not yet conceived of what lies in store. So you're not going to get a lot of information or a lot of interest for that conversation until people have got the brain cells. And as people develop the brain cells, then they're like, oh, man, I can't get enough of it. But until then, well, you know, it can be interesting once in a while, but I'm not really, you know. And one of the challenges I've watched with this work over developing it the last 50 years is that people don't hang around long enough to really build the brain cells to even begin to do the work. You know, if I put it in context of yourself, you know, you look at, you started this conversation 6 years ago, 25 years ago?
I think I was 31. I'm 64. I just turned 64.
Okay. So 30 plus years ago, you started this conversation. Yeah. And here you are now really starting to comprehend the conversation. You know?
Yes.
And that's what it takes. It's a process.
Yes,
so
it is.
You're right on track.
So okay. I just wanted to share when you said that don't go to a bar. I always wanted to date musicians because I wanted to be part of them. I wanted them to say, oh, you're good. And they never did. Come on, join the band. But I would date somebody in the band or something, and then I'd sit around in the bar while they're playing, that was my date, is watching the guy that I was in a relationship with in his band. And so I would sit with strangers and I'd just start bringing up conversations, and they're like, you're in a really strange, weird way. They said, you're really deep. Like, that's the last thing. They didn't even want to hear me. And my daughter says it too. She says, you're really deep. And she said, I bet you Michael Ryce hates his life, because I said, he's deeper than me. And she goes, I bet you he hates his life. I said, it's the opposite, Michelle. It's just the opposite. Because she can't.
It is so the opposite.
She can't conceive being that deep. And yet I told you one time recently, I tell her all the time, I cannot not be me. This is what my life is about, is healing, restoring myself. And she goes, I said, you don't have to listen every time. And she goes, no, I don't get any of it, maybe 5%. But something might sink in. I told you that. So even though she says I'm deep and everything, she doesn't go out and drink or anything. She just sits there for an hour or more. So listening to me over the phone. And so, she's building the brain cells.
She's building the brain cells. That's exactly it.
I hope I told her something that's true, because I hear you say it, but I want to double check. Yesterday I did tell her that I could see why our whole family, my dad's wish in his whole world, he gave us a letter 2 years before he died that he doesn't want any presents. He just wants everybody to love each other and be a family. He couldn't do it. He even said that he wanted us to all get together and tell each other what we didn't like about each other and what we'll do to work on ourselves. And he wanted a letter from all of us to tell him. Nobody did anything about it, but I did have an intention to do something, which is this work. Anyway, so I told Michelle that letter no one ever connected in our family, because they couldn't. They had too much garbage in them and didn't know what to do with it. And so and I said, that's why nobody can connect. It's not because everybody hates each other. So it's funny you're saying that today. Well,
and it sounds like your dad was reaching for it.
Yes, he was.
Trying to comprehend it. Yeah, that's awesome.
I love that letter. I've read it then, but I was so stuck in they hate me. My whole family hates me. How am I supposed to do anything about this? That was, long, like 10 years ago or something. He wrote that, 11, 12. Anyway, so I'm finally able to live. I'll be the letter for him. I don't have to write it. I'll just be it. I'll be the letter of.
There you go.
Being a place for him. And I told my daughter, I said, you don't have. Are you understanding anything I say? She said, no, but I'm listening. And I said, that's okay, Michelle, because hopefully I quote you right. I said, Michael Ryce said, I'm the designated person to do the work in our generations, and you'll benefit from it. A door will open for you in your life for me doing it. So I hope I said what I wasn't sure really what I was saying. So just want to get a little clear about that. Did I say anything that made any sense in this work? By me doing the work, she benefits from it.
That's it.
And how this benefits just because I open an actual door instead of not actual door into our bloodline, and then when it gets to the beach, it'll subside. But you got to be with yourself while you're going through this. Breathing alone won't help it. And so I understood her to mean what you say, which is, as a tsunami in me, that all the stuff that comes up, be with it, and breathe. But I can't just breathe. I have to be a space of love for myself and let it come to the shore, and it's gone.
Breath is what will move the love through the system. will enhance it. Remember, the breath is in Aramaic, ruka dikudsha, this feminine elemental force that undoes the effects of our errors and teaches us the truth. So it is, in a sense, the presence of love, and it is the breath that moves it through the cell, and it is the movement of love through a cell that is life.
So in this connected breathing exercise, when you say allow yourself to take a deep breath, and that is ruka that I'm saying.
That is ruka. Yeah, if you go back to the creation story, it doesn't say God sent out His Spirit. In Aramaic, it says God sent out His breath. It's our direct link and connection to the active presence of love. And it's what moves that energy of love through our cellular structure. When somebody doesn't want to deal with something, they're in trauma, what do? Lock down the breath. That moves right over to the opposite end of the scale, to that sympathetic dominant state, and ultimately leads to freeze and shutdown. Yeah. It's the restoration of the breath that creates the opening.
I'm going to be instead of a super power lifter of weights, I'm going to be a super deep breather of ruka. It's just a constant thing, It's like a muscle. Instead of building muscles, in the gym, I'm building the muscle of breathing.
There you go. That's it.
That needs to be an Olympic sport, to breathe.
It could be.
Yeah. Because, it's my body's just like, okay, we did it for 3 minutes. Let's stop already, It's kind of like lifting weights. Okay, well, we'll take a break, but I think we're supposed to breathe. So, Anyway, I have this funny feeling that my voice coach has got turned. My last lesson was talking about my voice lesson was having you on his computer screen. He wants to know everything about you. He's going to listen to archives. He's going to, before he contacts you, okay?
Oh, cool.
I think he knows your work. Because I literally read the connected breath in front of him. I said, before we start, I'm going to let you know where I'm at, okay, with my work with Dr. Michael Ryce. And so I was reading this, and he goes, okay, what is the name of this guy? And he spelled her name Rice. I said, no, it's Ryce. And I said, it's whyagain.com or
.org.
And
that's ORG.
Yeah, and so I'm like, you could go through radio archives, you can listen to the shows that way. He's got students from all over the world, famous people, not famous people, me. And so he can, I said, this is this work that's helping me. Okay, I was telling about the in-breath connected to the, to the out-breath, and all this. And I said,
we could create a song for that. We could
you got one?
The in-breath connected to the out-breath.
I want to take what's going on with all this stuff that I'm going through. The greatest songs in the world are about our own life. And so, anyway, I literally
you could
back
become,
to that.
You could become a cover artist. Like I've thought many times of sending a letter to what's her name? The woman that sings "God is Watching Us." Can you imagine if that song came out instead of the words being "God is watching us from a distance"? What if Bette Midler came out with that song and the words were "God is watching us from within us"?
Oh my God, yes.
If we started to tell the truth in these songs,
yes.
What if people were putting that into their nervous system with that great melody line? How different would their lives be?
So amazing. And yes, I agree with you 100%. I did tell my daughter that, in my 20s, things were coming through me like right and left, writing lyrics. And I would look at them and go, I don't even know what it means. What is this? It scared me so bad because I had such a low self-opinion of me as being worthless and not creative and all this kind of stuff that who is this person? And it scared me. It scared me too much. And you had said, I prayed for it to go away. And I told Michelle, you had told me that I can do worksheets on removing the blocks that are there and then get back to it. So, okay, that's what I'm working on, so that I can get back to doing this. Because it literally came through me. I would hear songs to go, and then I would have lyrics for them. I'd only have bits and pieces of the intro or the whatever, and ideas for other ones, and they never came together because I didn't study music yet. I was like 21, 22 or something. So anyway, I hope that. I don't know if hope is strong enough. I will that. What is stronger than will? Just so that I can break through the part of me that is the highest part of me that does this work. So how can I break? What's the fastest and easiest way?
Here's the fastest way to do it.
Okay.
If we were in intensive right now, I'd turn to the board and I'd write on the board all of the above. If you went back through our archives and listened to every word that I've said in 10 years of radio shows, I would address only your question, the one you just asked.
So when I go back, listen to it as if you're addressing my question instead of what the archives are about? Oh,
well,
great.
That's what the archives are about. Now, the truth is, there's really only one question. There's really only one answer, and that is do your work. It doesn't matter whether it's because I'm in trauma over a marriage breakdown, or I'm in trauma over an abusive parent, or I'm in trauma over the loss of a business, or I'm in trauma over, whatever it is.
Yeah.
The answer is the same. You do your work. You handle the disintegrative energy through forgiveness, and you open and you become a vessel that is receptive to the active presence of love flowing through your structure. Now, there was a title for that in the ancient Aramaic. It was called the Kingdom of Heaven. You remember there was a guy 2,000 years ago, he said, "Seek ye first." Now, those words were mistranslated by the Greeks. The Aramaic words there were the community of love. First, seek to live as the presence of love, join with others in the presence of love, and then everything else gets handled. It doesn't matter what the question is.
Oh, I love this. You don't hear it very often, but I love it.
Yeah, it's the core of it all. So thank you for being receptive and ready to rock, ready to go for it.
Well, I know now 100% clear I shut down that part of me in increments. It would force its way out of me musically, but I would keep shutting down because I was stuck in nobody loves me, everybody hates me, nobody wants to hear me.
Going to the garden to eat worms?
Well, the Garden of Deep Worms, did you say?
No. You didn't ever sing that song when you were a kid, "Nobody loves me, everybody hates me, going to the garden to eat worms"?
No. Is there a song
Oh,
like
you're kidding. You've never heard that song? Oh.
No, but
well,
I must have wrote it.
Oh, dear. What fun. What fun.
Yeah, nobody gets that. This is actually it's like feeling alive. It's like feeling like a connection to, yes, this is what life is supposed to be, your work on that I'm doing, okay? Because my daughter doesn't get it yet.
Well, again, how long did it take you?
No, I know, and she's not going nowhere. She's actually calls me. She never has anything to say, but she's calling to listen because she doesn't share anything. Yeah. First, every time, for her whole life, same old. So I said, look, I'm talking a lot because I want to connect with you somehow, Michelle, and I can only be me. So if you don't want to hear this, just say when, And she just calls me to hear me talk. So
No, she's
great.
building the brain cells, and that's
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
To it all.
Thank God. Thank you.
The key to it all.
All right. So, yes. So I will send you some links after when I get off the phone to a couple of these that you might. My letter to you, and I'll send it to you again, and I'll keep the dental part about the endocrine disorders causing gums and teeth and all problems in your mouth, and hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism, and you can just, it's probably a Western medical opinion, so I kind of looked through it like, okay, but I'll take out of it what I can use for my healing. So
yeah,
anyway.
ties right in. No, I would agree.
Yeah.
That's when the endocrine systems start to shut down. Look on the website for the chart, the physiological effects of emotional suppression, and it's all about how.
Now, where is this at, Michael?
And
this is on your website.
Go to the page with the worksheets on it.
Okay.
Do a search in the page for the word physiological.
Okay.
Or the word suppression, probably easier to spell suppression. And you'll find a chart, and that chart goes through the endocrine system, and it shows what emotions layer over what parts of the endocrine system to shut the system down, and what the corresponding thoughts are that people generally use to do that.
Oh, I'll never be speaking the same after I look at this. I'll be like, no, we're speaking differently now.
That's the idea.
Wake up call. When teeth go bad, wake up call.
Well, when anything goes out of line, remember, again, go back to the Aramaic. Let's remember that in Aramaic, the word sin is not some terrible, awful thing we've done. The word sin simply means off the mark. It's an archery term. When they said the wages of sin is death, they were saying if you keep putting disintegrative energy into your endocrine system, into your heart, your lungs, your livers, your bones, your teeth, your hair, your eyes, then those parts of your structure are going to begin to fall apart. And ultimately, you will create death. The wages of sin is death. That chart shows exactly what kind of thoughts and what the emotions are that shut down endocrine gland by endocrine gland, which begins the destruction of the whole system. And you'll see that if you look on the right-hand side, you'll see an arrow that goes down, and that points to what's been called aging. It's got nothing to do with time. People seem to get old over a period of time, so people think, well, that's getting old. It's got nothing to do with time. If you've got someone who's engaging only in integrative energy, then what time will do to them is strengthen and teach them. It won't age them. And if you begin to do your work, then as time unfolds, time will youth you rather than age you, because time has got nothing to do with it. Let me see, who was it? What was the name? It'll come to me as I say it, but here's the quote from a medical doctor. Time has no effect on human tissue under any conditions. It is the belief in the effects of time that acts as a poison.
This is not a Western medical doctor, is it, saying that?
And you could testify that I've, over the years, taken things personally. And so, this work has definitely helped, lessen that tremendously. And so I hear some of those same things, hear the dental issues. So, Cecilia, as Michael has said, anything we ask or share, others benefit. And I know I can speak for quite a few people. And it's just that, and we tend to take things I used to tend to take things personally if somebody didn't take my idea. And I know part of that came from growing up with my mom. But any given day, any of us may have other things to do, right? So we're not always on here. And so someone doesn't always. Like, I haven't been on in a while. And today, what Dr. Tim was sharing spoke right to me, and I was the only one that responded. So, anyway, I just wanted to assure you that anytime, anybody is listening, it's always a benefit to more than just you. So keep doing what you're doing. Blessings for that. And then I just have a quick physics question, Michael.
Let's go for it.
Okay. When I was reading some of it, happened to be Emmett Fox's commentary on the Sermon on the Mount. Anyway, this morning, laying in bed reading that, I have recently had a childhood clock that is actually 94 years old, refurbished, and it was sitting there, and the only way that it will work is to wind it, and it has to be wound every 24 hours. Well, I'm reading, and I sneeze. When I sneeze, I make a lot of noise usually, and I sneeze like a double sneeze. This clock was not working. I haven't wound it in probably 4 to 5 days. That clock immediately started ticking, and it ticked for 10 minutes, which was the time that I was finishing reading, and then it stopped again. So my question is, physics-wise, because we talk about resonance. Right. Well, we talk about resonance. So was my sneeze, the noise of my sneeze, it wasn't noise. It's a wave, right? It's a radio wave, or it's a wave of resonance. Can that trigger, just like when an opera singer sings so high it breaks glass? So can the same thing happen with mechanisms in a little tiny 94-year-old clock that starts ticking all of a sudden when it hasn't been for several days? I mean,
well, here's what my guess would be. Here's what my guess would be. The mechanism is perhaps a little bit weaker than normal, and so it had not actually unwound all the way. There was still a little bit of wind in it, but it had gotten stuck, and literally the resonance, the energy pattern from your sneeze, created enough of an energy shift in it to loosen whatever that little jam was in the winding mechanism, and it played out its last 10 minutes. That would be my take.
Right.
So, yeah, resonance. That's it, energy. Yeah.
Yeah, so it just, as God does, gives us one more piece of the puzzle to help each of us individually with what we need to have that aha moment, that little revelation that, so listening to all this resonance talk, and thinking, okay, yeah, I really kind of understand. Okay, yeah, and you get so many visuals and great stories. But then when something like that happens and it's right by your face and you haven't wound that thing in it, and I go, and I knew that it was the high in my sneeze coming out of my mouth, and it's like, oh my goodness, that is just so clear of the resonance. So I just wanted to, get a confirmation or not of that. So thank you very much.
All right. Well, you have a blessed one, everybody. Create the best year yet of your eternal life. It's an awesome gift to give the world. Thanks for your participation. Lots of love. Bye-bye.